and welcome to Letty Does Playing Lone Wolf, The Huntress, Echoes of Eternity, Part 2. So, my last Let's Play was just setting up my new book, my new action chart, getting my new hunting arts, and starting off my day as the Huntress. We have been at sea for a while, and I am now about to enter my first fight. It is going to be against the Storm Guardian. Maybe I made a mistake because the Storm Guardian has an EP of 40, and I need to fight them at a combat ratio of -4. And I can't use any potions, poisons, or fire seed. I can only use my Bejeweled Warhammer, which does not have the regular benefit of increasing my combat ratio, but instead will do double damage that I deal. Which is good in theory, except my rolls are horrible. So, we are starting off with 23 endurance. Oh, wait, 23 plus the 4. Use that first, which I am certain I will. So, I'll just leave it as +4. The opponent has 40. The combat ratio is -4. And my notes are going to be Warhammer, double damage. Okay. Now, let's actually do this. I'll fill out that endurance when I either win or lose. Everything good? You good? Cece? Okay, whatever you're doing back there. Better not be bad. First roll. Let's go. Too far. That is a 4. Ratio. That means they deal 4 and I deal 4. I get dealt 4. So there goes my extra 4. What did I just say? I rolled a 4? Yeah. They get dealt 8, actually. 32. Rolling again. Ooh! Wait. That is a 9. Okay. I got so excited I was like, you need to verify. Okay. And that would mean... Whoa! Yes! That means they get dealt 18. I don't need to take any damage. It's 18, right? That said 9. Okay. Fine. What is it? What is it? What is it? You got a box? You want your box? You're playing with the ball? Okay. Fine. Here's your box. There you go. Here's your ball. Okay. No. What was I going to write this as? Okay. So 424, 14, 14, 24, 32. Yes, 14. All right. I'm just going to assume I'm correct. That sounds correct. Okay, rolling again. Please be another 9. Just give it to me. Please. That's a 6, I think. Yeah, that's a 6. Okay. So, not a 9, but maybe that's good. Three damage, 12 damage. Oh, I have to go again. Okay, rolling again. Oh, a 0. Beautiful. And that's just like 10 and 0. Okay. Okay. That's not bad. Wait, no, not 0. No, 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 no. No, no, no. I'm still at 20. Okay. So that's not bad. 20 out of 23. Pretty good. I was expecting to do far worse. All right. We have defeated the Storm Guardian. And we are now going to 2, 2, 3. Let me update. Oh, wait. -4 bonus, -4 EP. Okay. Going to go here. We are going to erase this bonus EP that we got, and I am going to erase this 3. And I'm going to replace that with a 0. That's not terrible. It could have been worse. Okay. It probably will be worse if I don't find food. Oh, I could have used the sun god's shield. I forgot about that. It's fine. What's the worst damage I took? 3? Aside from the 4? Yeah. Could have used the sun god's shield. I forgot. Whoops. I need to remember that I have the option of using these things. Okay. What was I doing? Right. The tentacles slam the water madly, but your boat swerves around them and then is past, fleeing deeper into the storm. The clouds grow thicker until you can see nothing past the curve of the serpent at the prow. Soon you are enveloped completely, so that even thunder becomes muffled and dull. Then that too falls silent. For a half an hour there is nothing except your heavy breathing and the slap of water against the boat. Then your eyes are assaulted by light, your ears by a roaring so loud it is painful. You break through the veil and into the eye of the storm. A circle at its very center where the sun shines bright and clear. Ahead is a hole the size of an island. The ocean rushes into it, forming a colossal circular waterfall, the edge of which you are now speeding towards. You take up the oars once more, but there is no fighting this current, strong as the pull of fate. The boat teeters on the edge of the waterfall, then tilts down, forcing you to face the eternal fall that awaits you. Then the boat tumbles over, throwing you out into emptiness. You fall and fall and fall until there is nothing else, maybe has never been anything else, and then you pass out. Make a note of your current endurance and write it down in your knowledge as storm endurance. Turn to 37. Okay. Knowledge. 20. Okay. Seems good. The sound of surf coaxes you back into wakefulness. Leerily, you open sand-crusted eyelids and look out on a wide stretch of white beach. The horizon stretches on as far as you can see, broken only by an onion-shaped rock jutting out of the ocean, about a mile offshore, colored black by the ravens flocking to and around it. There is no sign of the storm, but all is not well. The waves are a bloody red. The skies are a bruised purple and green. The sun, you gasp when you see the sun. The sun is broken. Color runs from it as if painted on a wet canvas. It has lost its circular shape, trailing into a bloody swipe across the sickly sky, as though Kai himself has been struck a deadly blow. You force muscles to move, though they are heavy with the weariness of an unoiled machine. When you rise onto your hands and knees, a continent of sand falls from your back. You turn around and freeze. Crouched 10 feet away from you is a scrawny, black-haired girl, no more than 8 or 9 years old, staring at you with wide eyes and open mouth. But she is not what causes you to go still. It is the sight of the landscape beyond her that takes your breath away. Past the girl, a tawny mountain rises out of the beach. Not a gently sloping hill, but a sheer wall, cliffs stacked on cliffs like battlements. A golden fortress climbing itself up to a flat top that cuts a swath through the sky 10,000 feet above the beach. The side facing you curves slightly, like a waning moon reaching its arms for you. Wrapped inside that curve is a city that has been carved. The entrance to a city is watched over by a titanic statue of a goddess made of the same yellow stone. A spear wide as a grain silo planted in the earth at her feet. A single road runs between her legs around the spear point and saloms up the mountain. Her stone eyes are fixed on the beach as though watching for intruders. If you have the demonic mask, turn immediately to 200. If not, turn to 157. What are you doing? Hi. Okay. No. Come here. No, 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 no. Nope. No, 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 no. Okay. I have the demonic mask. You feel sand and wind on your face. It is a sensation you have not felt in many days. You realize your mask is missing. Anxiety rushes into you. Every breath is a hand squeezing your chest. Every heartbeat booms in your ears like drums in a hollow room. Your hands cut a swath through the sand, sending it flying as you scramble to find the mask. The girl shrieks and runs away, but you ignore her, thinking only of the mask. Behind you, the ocean roars. You ignore it too, until waves wash up around you, drowning the beach and soaking you. When they drift back, they leave a landscape of dead fish and crabs twitching as if the water has turned to poison. A mournful cry sounds from the sea like a great beast sobbing. In that moment, raw fear takes over, greater even than the loss of your mask, and you push yourself to your feet and sprint for the city. Do not erase the demonic mask from your action chart. You cannot stand to admit that it is gone. Instead, mark that it is missing. If you have the Void Amulet, turn to 15. Otherwise, turn to 86. Missing. Oh, my anxiety is so bad. Demonic mask. Missing. Okay. Cool. I just wrote have mask. Don't have mask. Missing mask. Missing mask. We do have the Void Amulet. So that is going to be section 15. As you run, the Void Amulet begins to hum with power, even more than when you face the Guardian. The fabric of reality is weak here, and you can use the power of the amulet to manipulate it at a cost. Until you are told otherwise, any time after picking a number from the random number table, you may reduce your maximum endurance by 2 to pick a new number and use either one. Mark this on your action chart next to the Void Amulet. With this power thrumming at your fingertips, you head for the City of Gold. Turn to 86. So I can do that as many times as I want. I can just keep deducting my EP. So right here, I had written the Void Amulet on like its own, or not on its own row. How can I write that? -2 max EP. Pick new number. What a cost. Okay. When I needed to use the Storm Endurance and I marked it down, does that mean like my current endurance or my current and max? Like, I don't know if I'm supposed to write this down here or if I'm just supposed to write 20. I don't know. I will figure that out later. Void amulet. How would I mark this? Maybe if I use it, I make little tally marks. And otherwise, we'll leave it. I will write it down here and give it its own row. And I will write re-roll -2 max CP. Right? That makes sense. Maybe parentheses is better. I don't know why I put that so far apart. I could have condensed it. I'll just have a little tally right here in case I use it. Yeah. Okay. Void amulet ability? And we are going to 86. The legs of the colossal warrior make an arched entrance almost like a tunnel. Passing underneath her, you are immediately enveloped by the curving hug of the cliffs with its megapolis? Megapolis, yeah. Rising above you on all sides, the buildings seeming to stack one on top of the other at impossible angles so that you climb the road. Looking up gives you more vertigo than looking down, but it is partially an illusion. So cleverly has the city been carved from the mountain that it looks like every building has sprouted from the one beneath it, when in fact there is depth, and they sit on many stepped levels rising up the mountain wall, interwoven with streets. The style of the homes is basic, squarish, with simple openings for windows and doors, with only some having wooden doors and most having wonderfully embroidered curtains instead. No wall has been left without intricate carvings and murals, most of them depicting a bearded man in flowing robes with stars for eyes. In some, he is giving gifts to people that kneel at his feet. In others, he is striking them down with lightning and fire. And in a few, he hands people circular objects. These are always pearls inset into the walls, baubles of some kind, you assume, which the people appear to be kissing. No street in the city stays straight for long. Paths dart between and over buildings, as if fleeing from those who walk them. Bridges are everywhere, connecting buildings, crossing chasms, and casting long shadows on the streets below. You reach a street named Destiny's Boulevard and look down it to see abandoned carts full of goods running its length. A question burns in your mind. Where is everyone? As you are wondering this, a bell from somewhere high above begins to toll, so unexpectedly that you jump. It is hollow, dolorous gong echoes down the streets like a ghost crying out for its lost family. Above, the sun continues to bleed, and the shadows the buildings cast are tinged with red. Do you wish to follow the sound of the bell? Turn to 204. Do you wish to explore Destiny's Boulevard? Turn to 11. The bell is very suspicious, isn't it? Destiny's Boulevard. Well, that sounds very suspicious, doesn't it? I'm here to find my destiny. It is called Destiny's Boulevard. Destiny hasn't been very nice to me, though. So that kind of sounds like a bad thing, doesn't it? Okay. To see abandoned carts full of goods. Let's do the bell first, and then maybe we can come back to Destiny's Boulevard. Like a bird drawn to the sound of a bell. The city shakes with frequent quakes, each sending cracks spidering across the streets and up the buildings. The roads are steep, but the ringing of the bell draws you ever upward until the final flat peak of the mountain rises just ahead. Here the street empties into a grand courtyard or plaza which runs to a single impressive structure. A mix between a fortress and a cathedral, with tall walls and gates that are covered in carvings depicting solemn religious events such as the rise and fall of the dragons. Stained glass windows set high enough to be seen over the gates show the robed man with stars for eyes. He grips the sun and moon, wields fire and lightning, always claiming dominion over the elements. He is never alone. People are shown kneeling or bowing to him. The fortress's highest point is a tower with arched openings at its top where a giant bell somberly sounds. The monotone melody you followed. Above the gates of the fortress is carved a declaration. Know that ye come to the gates of supremacy. Reflect on whether thou art worthy. In the courtyard people have gathered, perhaps the city's entire population, for they stand shoulder to shoulder, and yet still it is crowded. Many of them are tall, all are lean and sun-kissed, their color ranging from light olive to onyx. You see no one older than 40 and wonder if there was war or sickness to leave the city so bereft of its elders. They dress in a variety of robe-like saris, tied in different, intricate ways. Most have black hair. Their features are noble, their faces long, and each exudes a natural strength and grace, the kind you think of when you see deer running in the forest. None of them speak, none of them move. They simply stand, staring up at the bell tower. You stealthily take a set of stairs up to a balcony overlooking the courtyard and crouch behind the banister to see what happens next. If you have knowledge of the Faceless, turn to 112. Otherwise, turn to 161. No? Sounds like a Doctor Who villain. No knowledge. Hello? Child. The bell halts its ringing, and a feeling of deep anticipation falls over the courtyard. A figure has appeared in the tower, dressed in a white surcoat with a white shoulder cape worn on one side, short in the front, but long in the back where it gusts in the wind behind him. He wears a blank white mask made of a hard material, maybe ceramic, tubes running up from under his collar and plug into holes by the nose. No other holes exist, not for mouth nor eyes. Yet when he turns his head and looks down at the crowd, your heart pounds harder and you feel an unexplainable terror. You are certain that he sees every one of the people looking up at him. The Faceless, this is how you will come to think of him, speaks. His voice, wizened and prideful, hoarse with age, yet confident from hard-gained experience. Today we give praise to the visionary who led us from destruction, who found a cure for the great plague that has wiped out all other life on Magnemon. Today we give praise to Ben Fusias, he who gave us health, he who gave us hope. By his grace do we inherit the earth and all her gifts. Health, the crowd repeats, everyone except for you. Hope, they intone. Today, once again, our Dark Lord arrives, the Faceless continues. Gnar will reach through the gaps between worlds and grace Magnemon with his touch. Once again, we shall bear witness. Once again, we shall welcome him. Once again, we pray that this time he takes us into his domain, where we shall be reunited with those who perished, with those who did not take the medicine. Shouts interrupt the speech as a latecomer to the gathering arrives by a street across the courtyard from you, dragging with him the struggling black-haired girl you saw at the beach. Seeing her alongside the others, you can tell she is of the same people, but there is something of their angelic beauty lacking in her, something more normal about her. She is like a candle in a room of torches. Brother Natan, come back to me. We can leave. We can escape. There has to be a way, the girl shouts at the muscular man holding her. He is young, with generous lips that must produce an amazing smile. He is not smiling now. This one has not been taking her medicine, her brother says, not releasing his grip. At this announcement, the crowd gasps. This one is sick, the Faceless declares. How can we help her? Give her the medicine, the crowd cries. The girl fights harder at this, shouting, no, it's not medicine, it's poison. But her brother ignores her and the crowd parts, and a woman begins making her way towards the pair. If the rest of the people are torches, then she is the ever-burning sun. Her skin is dark and her face perfectly built, capturing nobility, sensitivity, and a girl next door familiarity that makes you fall in love with her 3 ways. Her full black hair hangs heavy over one side of her face, leaving only a single golden eye revealed. She wears not a sari, but a pale yellow summer dress. She is even taller than the others, even longer of limb, more graceful than a cat stretching. She wears white gloves on her hands. Before this incredible woman can reach her, the girl stomps down on her brother's foot and simultaneously drives an elbow into his gut. He doubles over and she slips from his grip, running through the crowd towards the exit underneath you, winding and dodging around all attempts to catch her. Just as she is about to make it, a man steps out from the crowd and releases a spinning set of bolas at her legs. They bring her down with a cry, and a splash of blood as her nose strikes the stones. Gain knowledge of the Faceless. If you wish to leap down and defend the girl, turn to 29. If you decide to do nothing, turn to 92. I like how those two are opposites. 29 and 92. Huntress, can you stop being so gay for 5 minutes so that we can fucking do something? Falling in love with all the women that you see. Okay. Well, I've gained knowledge of the Faceless. Okay, so I filmed parts 2 through 4 of this Let's Play all in one go, and this clip that you're watching marks the end of part 2. Stay tuned for part 3. That's all I got for you for now. Get out there, do all the stuff, and I'll see you next time. Bye!